Hello and good morning, friends. Standing up for yourself today is not about becoming loud. It is about becoming honest. For too long, many of us have mistaken silence for peace and tolerance for strength. We have learned to stay quiet to keep relationships intact, to shrink ourselves to avoid conflict, and to carry discomfort so others can feel comfortable. But silence, when it costs you your self-respect, is not peace. It is surrender. Standing up for yourself begins the moment you realize this truth. Your voice matters, even if it shakes. It does not require aggression. It does not require arguments. It requires clarity. Clarity about what hurts you. Clarity about what drains you. Clarity about what you will no longer accept. Standing up for yourself is choosing honesty over approval. Many people fear that speaking up will make them difficult, unkind, or unlovable. But the real cost is staying silent while resentment grows inside you. Suppressed feelings do not disappear. They harden. And one day they show up as exhaustion, bitterness, or self-doubt. Standing up for yourself is an act of self-respect. It is saying, "This matters to me." It is acknowledging your needs without apology. It is setting boundaries without guilt. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks. They decide who gets access and how. Standing up for yourself does not mean you stop caring about others. It means you start caring about yourself too. You realize that your comfort is not less important than someone else's convenience. That your emotional safety deserves protection. Some people will not like your boundaries. They benefited from your silence. They were comfortable with your compliance. And when you speak up, it challenges the version of you they were used to. That discomfort is not your responsibility. Standing up for yourself may feel unfamiliar at first. You may overthink your words. You may fear rejection. You may feel guilty for choosing yourself. But guilt fades. Self-respect stays. Each time you speak honestly, confidence grows. Each time you say no when something feels wrong, trusting yourself strengthens. And slowly, you stop abandoning yourself to keep the peace. Standing up for yourself also means standing up internally, stopping negative self-talk, challenging the belief that you are too much or not enough, defending your worth in your own mind. You cannot expect others to respect boundaries you don't honor yourself. There will be moments when standing up for yourself costs you connections. But what you lose in people who don't respect you, you gain in peace. And peace is priceless. Standing up for yourself today does not require perfection. It requires courage, the quiet kind. Courage to say, "This doesn't work for me." Courage to pause instead of people please. Courage to choose yourself without needing permission. One day, you will look back and realize that the moment you began standing up for yourself was the moment your life felt lighter. Not because everything became easy, but because you stopped carrying what was never yours to carry. So stand up for yourself today, not with anger, not with apology, but with calm conviction. Because you are not asking for too much. You are asking for what you deserve. And the strongest thing you can do today is no longer abandon yourself to be accepted. Stand up. Yourself is worth defending. Standing up for yourself is self-respect, not selfishness. For many people, the idea of standing up for themselves feels uncomfortable. It feels like crossing an invisible line, from being kind to being difficult, from being understanding to being selfish. So they stay silent. They adjust. They compromise again and again, hoping peace will come from self-denial. But peace that costs you yourself, respect is not peace. It is quiet suffering. Standing up for yourself does not mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop forgetting yourself. It means you recognize that your needs, feelings, and boundaries matter just as much as anyone else's. Self-respect is not loud. It is honest. It shows up when you say no without explaining your worth. When you speak your truth without attacking someone else's. When you choose clarity instead of resentment. Selfishness takes at the expense of others. Self-respect protects without harming. There is a difference. Many people were taught that being agreeable makes them good, lovable, and worthy. They learn to silence discomfort to avoid conflict. Over time, this silence becomes a habit, and that habit slowly erodes confidence. You begin doubting your needs. You question your feelings. You shrink your voice to fit into spaces that were never meant to limit you. Standing up for yourself is how you stop that erosion. It is how you say, I matter too. Self-respect means acknowledging when something feels wrong and not dismissing it. It means trusting your inner signals instead of overriding them for approval. And this trust builds strength. Standing up for yourself also teaches others how to treat you. When you allow disrespect, it repeats. When you tolerate discomfort, it becomes expected. When you abandon yourself, others learn that your boundaries are flexible. But when you stand firm, calmly and clearly, something shifts. People may not like it. They may resist it. They may misunderstand it. But discomfort in others is not proof of your wrongdoing. Often, it is proof that you stopped carrying what was never yours. Self-respect does not require aggression. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to justify endlessly. You don't need to prove your pain. You only need honesty and steadiness. Standing up for yourself will feel uncomfortable at first. You may feel guilty for choosing yourself. You may fear losing connection. You may worry about being misunderstood. But guilt fades as confidence grows. Each time you speak up, you rebuild trust with yourself. You show yourself that you are safe in your own hands. And that trust becomes confidence, not the loud kind, but the unshakable kind. Self-respect also protects your energy. You stop overgiving. You stop over-explaining. You stop exhausting yourself to maintain harmony. And in that protection, you regain peace. Some relationships may change when you stand up for yourself. Some will deepen because they were built on respect. Some will fade because they depended on your silence. This is not loss. It is alignment. Standing up for yourself is not about winning arguments. It is about winning yourself back. It is about choosing long-term peace over short-term approval. It is about valuing your inner world enough to defend it, calmly, firmly, without apology. You are not selfish for protecting your dignity. You are not difficult for having boundaries. You are not wrong for needing space, respect, or understanding. You are human. And standing up for yourself is not a rejection of others. It is an acceptance of yourself. So stand up gently, clearly, bravely, not to prove anything, not to fight, but to honor the truth that you deserve respect from the world and from yourself. Silence that costs your peace is not strength. For many people, silence has been mistaken for maturity. Staying quiet is often praised as patience. Endurance is mistaken for resilience. And over time, you are taught that tolerating discomfort quietly makes you strong. But silence that drains your peace is not strength. It is self-abandonment. There is a difference between choosing silence for wisdom and choosing silence out of fear. One protects you. The other slowly breaks you. When you stay silent to avoid conflict, your body keeps the score. Your mind replays conversations you never had. Your heart carries words you never spoke. Your energy drains from holding everything inside. And slowly, silence becomes heavy. True strength does not come from suppressing yourself. It comes from knowing when to speak. Silence becomes harmful when it forces you to swallow disrespect, dismiss your feelings, or normalize behavior that hurts you. Over time, this creates resentment, not toward others, but toward yourself. You begin asking, why didn't I say something? Why did I let that happen? Why did I choose their comfort over my peace? That regret is painful. Strength is not about endurance alone. It is about self-protection. Speaking up does not mean you lack patience. It means you have boundaries. It means you recognize that your emotional safety matters as much as harmony. Peace is not the absence of noise. Peace is the absence of inner conflict. And silence that forces you to betray yourself creates constant inner conflict. There is courage in respectful confrontation, courage to express discomfort calmly, courage to clarify expectations, courage to say, "This does not feel okay to me." This courage does not create chaos, it creates clarity. Many people remain silent because they fear consequences. Fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being labeled difficult. But living without peace is a far greater consequence. Your silence teaches people what you will tolerate. If you tolerate disrespect quietly, it repeats. If you tolerate emotional harm, it escalates. If you tolerate being ignored, it becomes normal. Speaking up interrupts these patterns. Silence can be powerful when it is chosen. Chosen to observe, chosen to de-escalate, chosen to preserve dignity. But silence should never be forced by fear. You do not need to explain everything. You do not need to argue endlessly. You do not need to shout to be heard. You only need to be honest. Honesty restores peace. It aligns your inner truth with your outer behavior. It removes the tension of pretending everything is fine when it is not. And that alignment feels like relief. Some people will react negatively when you break your silence. Not because you are wrong, but because they were comfortable with your quiet compliance. That discomfort is not your burden. Silence that costs your peace slowly costs your confidence. But speaking up, even gently, rebuilds it. You begin trusting yourself again. You feel lighter. You stop carrying conversations that never happened. Standing up for yourself does not require constant confrontation. It requires clarity and courage. Choose silence when it protects your peace. Break silence when it destroys it. Because real strength is not how much you can tolerate. Real strength is knowing when to say enough and choosing peace, even if your voice shakes. Boundaries protect your energy and dignity. Many people think boundaries push others away. They fear that setting limits will make them seem cold, selfish, or difficult. So they give more than they can afford. They tolerate more than they should. And slowly, they lose something precious, themselves. Boundaries are not walls. They are guardians. They protect your time. They protect your energy. They protect your self-respect. Without boundaries, your life becomes an open door, and not everyone who enters deserves access. When you lack boundaries, your energy leaks. You feel exhausted after conversations. You feel drained after helping too much. You feel resentful after saying yes when you meant no. That exhaustion is not kindness. It is self-neglect. Boundaries teach others how to treat you. If you allow constant disrespect, it becomes normal. If you tolerate emotional harm, it becomes expected. If you ignore your limits, others learn to ignore them too. Setting boundaries interrupts this cycle. Boundaries are an act of dignity. They say, "I value myself enough to protect my inner world." They say, "My needs matter too." They say, "I can be kind without being consumed." This is not selfishness. This is self-awareness. Many people feel guilty when setting boundaries. They fear hurting feelings. They fear disappointing others. They fear being misunderstood, but guilt fades. Resentment grows. Boundaries prevent resentment. They stop you from overgiving. They stop you from suppressing discomfort. They stop you from exploding after long silence. Healthy boundaries create honest relationships. People know where they stand with you. Expectations become clear. Communication becomes respectful. And peace becomes possible. Boundaries also protect your energy for what matters. When you say no to what drains you, you say yes to what nourishes you. To rest, to growth, to healing, to people who respect you. Energy is limited. You cannot pour endlessly without refilling. Boundaries decide where your energy goes and where it doesn't. Boundaries may upset some people, especially those who benefited from your lack of them. They may accuse you of changing, of becoming distant, of being selfish. But growth often looks like distance to those who thrived on your silence. Boundaries do not require explanations. You don't need to justify your no. You don't need to argue your limits. You don't need to apologize for protecting your peace. Calm clarity is enough. Setting boundaries strengthens self-trust. Each time you honor your limits, you prove to yourself that you are safe in your own care, and that trust builds confidence. Quiet, steady, unshakable. Boundaries also preserve dignity. You stop begging for respect. You stop tolerating emotional crumbs. You stop shrinking to stay included. You stand rooted in self-worth. Some relationships will adjust to your boundaries. Some will deepen with respect. Some will fade without access. This is not loss. It is alignment. Boundaries don't isolate you. They surround you with what is healthy. So set them gently. Set them clearly. Set them without anger or apology. Because boundaries do not make you distant. They make you whole. And protecting your energy and dignity is not something you should feel guilty about. It is something you should be proud of. Your voice deserves space, even when it trembles. For many people, the fear is not speaking. The fear is how their voice will sound when they do. They wait to be confident. They wait to be calm. They wait to feel strong enough. And in that waiting, their truth remains unspoken. But your voice does not need perfection to be valid. It needs honesty. A trembling voice does not mean weakness. It means courage is present. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to speak despite it. So many people silence themselves because they believe their voice must be steady to be respected. But respect does not come from volume or control. It comes from authenticity. Your truth matters even when it shakes. Speaking up while afraid is braver than staying silent while calm. When you give your voice space, you reclaim your presence. You stop disappearing in conversations. You stop agreeing when something feels wrong. You stop shrinking to avoid discomfort. Your voice carries your boundaries. It carries your needs. It carries your experiences. It carries your worth. When you deny it space, you deny yourself visibility. A trembling voice often carries years of silence, years of swallowing words, years of choosing peace over honesty, years of placing others' comfort above your truth. Letting that voice speak is healing. You don't need to argue. You don't need to defend aggressively. You don't need to explain endlessly. You only need to say what is true for you. Your voice does not need approval to exist. Some people may dismiss it. Some may interrupt it. Some may try to overpower it. That does not diminish its value. Your voice is not meant to please everyone. It is meant to protect you. Each time you speak despite fear, something shifts. Your confidence grows quietly. Your self-trust deepens. Your presence becomes stronger. You realize that fear did not destroy you. Silence did. Speaking up may feel uncomfortable at first. Your heart may race. Your hands may shake. Your thoughts may stumble. But discomfort fades faster than regret. And regret is heavier than fear. Giving your voice space also teaches others how to listen. When you speak calmly and honestly, you set a tone. You show that your words deserve respect, not because they are loud, but because they are true. Your voice deserves room in every space you occupy, at work, in relationships, in your own mind. Silencing yourself does not keep you safe forever. It only delays the moment you must choose yourself. So speak, gently, clearly, bravely. Let your voice tremble if it must. Let your words come imperfectly. Let your truth be heard. Because your voice does not need to be fearless to be powerful. It only needs to be yours. And the moment you allow it space, you begin standing fully in who you are. Not hidden, not diminished, but present and real. People may resist your growth, and that's okay. Not everyone will celebrate the moment you begin standing up for yourself. Not everyone will understand the changes you make, and not everyone will feel comfortable when you stop being who they were used to. Growth disrupts familiarity. When you grow, you change how you respond. You change what you tolerate. You change how you show up. And those changes can feel threatening to people who benefited from the old version of you. Resistance does not mean you are wrong. It often means you are evolving. Some people liked you when you were quieter, when you said yes easily, when you carried the emotional weight without complaint. Your growth challenges that comfort. People may say you've changed, and they're right. You have changed because staying the same was hurting you. You have changed because silence was costing you peace. You have changed because self-respect required courage. Growth is not betrayal. It is survival. When people resist your growth, they may try to guilt you. They may say you're selfish. They may say you're difficult. They may say you're overreacting. But these reactions say more about their discomfort than your choices. You are not responsible for managing others' emotions about your boundaries. You are responsible for honoring your truth. Growth often creates distance. Not because you are pushing people away, but because alignment changes proximity. Some connections were built on imbalance. When balance is restored, those connections shift. And that shift is not failure. It is clarity. Letting people be uncomfortable is part of growing up emotionally. You can be kind without being compliant. You can be loving without being silent. You can be respectful without abandoning yourself. These truths take time to accept, for you and for others. Some people will adjust to your growth. They will respect your boundaries. They will meet you with understanding. They will grow alongside you. Others will not. And that is not your burden to carry. Growth is not about keeping everyone comfortable. It is about becoming whole. When you choose yourself, you may lose access to certain spaces, but you gain access to peace. And peace is not something you should sacrifice to maintain familiarity. People who truly value you will value your growth. They may need time. They may ask questions. They may stumble. But they will not demand that you shrink. Growth may feel lonely at times, but loneliness in growth is healthier than company in self-betrayal. One day, you will look back and understand that resistance was part of the process, that it clarified who could walk with you into the next chapter and who could not. And that clarity will feel freeing. So let people resist if they must. You are not here to stay the same for the comfort of others. You are here to grow into who you are meant to be. Honestly, courageously, and with self-respect, growth may change how people see you. But it will finally allow you to see yourself clearly. And that clarity is worth everything. Choosing yourself today builds confidence for life. Confidence is often misunderstood as something loud, a strong voice, bold behavior, or fearless presence. But real confidence is quiet. It is built slowly through small decisions where you choose yourself even when it feels uncomfortable. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you practice. Every time you honor your needs, you strengthen self-trust. Every time you say no when something feels wrong, you protect your dignity. And every time you speak your truth gently but firmly, confidence takes root. Choosing yourself does not mean ignoring others. It means including yourself. For a long time, many people are taught to prioritize everyone else, to be agreeable, flexible, understanding. And while kindness matters, self-erasure does not create strength. It creates exhaustion. Confidence grows when you stop abandoning yourself, when you stop minimizing your feelings, when you stop apologizing for existing, when you stop needing permission to take up space. These moments may feel small, but they are powerful. Choosing yourself builds internal safety. You begin trusting that you will protect your peace, that you will speak up when something hurts, that you will not stay silent to be accepted. This trust becomes confidence, steady and grounded. Confidence is built through alignment. When your inner truth matches your outer actions, tension disappears. You no longer feel torn between what you feel and what you show. That alignment creates calm, and calm is confidence. Choosing yourself today also breaks old patterns. Patterns of people pleasing, patterns of silence, patterns of self-doubt. Breaking patterns is uncomfortable, but staying stuck is far more painful. Each time you choose yourself, your future self feels safer. Safer to try, safer to speak, safer to grow. Because confidence is not believing everything will go perfectly. It is believing you will handle whatever comes. Some people may misunderstand your choice. They may say you've changed. They may resist your boundaries. They may question your decisions. But confidence is not built by pleasing everyone. It is built by respecting yourself. Choosing yourself does not make life easy. It makes life honest. And honesty builds resilience. You stop relying on external validation. You stop measuring your worth through approval. And slowly, your confidence stops shaking with opinions. Confidence built this way lasts. It is not dependent on success or praise. It does not disappear with criticism. It does not collapse under pressure. Because it was built through self-loyalty. One day, you will look back and realize that confidence did not arrive suddenly. It was formed in quiet moments. When you spoke even though your voice shook. When you walked away from what disrespected you. When you chose peace over familiarity. These moments shaped you. Choosing yourself today is not a selfish act. It is a foundational one. It teaches the world how to treat you. It teaches your mind how to trust you. It teaches your heart how to feel safe. And that safety becomes confidence. So choose yourself today. Not loudly, not aggressively, but honestly. Because every time you do, you are building a confidence that will carry you through conversations, challenges, and chapters for the rest of your life. Confidence is not found. It is built one self-respecting choice at a time. So if today you feel tired of shrinking, stop. If you feel the weight of silence, release it. And if your heart is asking to be heard, listen. Standing up for yourself is not rebellion. It is remembrance. Remembrance of your worth. Remembrance of your needs. Remembrance of the promise you made to yourself to live honestly. You don't need to fight to be respected. You only need to stop accepting what hurts you. Each time you choose yourself, you heal a part of you that learned to stay quiet. Each time you speak your truth, you reclaim a piece of your confidence. Let your voice be calm. Let your boundaries be clear. Let your self-respect be non-negotiable. Because the world does not need a quieter you. It needs a truer you. And the moment you stand up for yourself, gently, bravely, without apology, is the moment your life begins to feel lighter, stronger, and more honest. Stand up today, not against others, but for yourself.